So, hi everyone. Today's video is going to be my Strangetown 50 years later. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, and I feel like this is the perfect time to make it since my Strangetown is at the point where a good amount of, pre-mades have died. I think I did the numbers, and I think, oh, wait, actually, let me pull it up really quickly. Of all the pre-mades that come with Strangetown, all ages, 12 out of 21. So that's over half, or yeah, more than half. That's like 54 maybe percent have died. So we're at a good point where like a lot of pre-mades, especially if they were older, had grandkids, maybe even great grandkids. And yeah, so this is my town. I did want to kind of give a little bit of caveats or kind of just like give a little detail about the town. So I've been playing this town for 2 years. I started about a little under 2 years ago in 2021, like October-ish, like October, November of 2021. And as you can see, also the neighborhood's different. So I use like neighborhood replace to kind of just make the neighborhood more developed. I thought also just like as time goes on, neighborhoods change, worlds change. So I didn't want to do that instead of just everything being on like one road, because especially as the town developed, having everyone just live on like one strip or like one little thing was kind of annoying me. So I did that. And then also this neighborhood is a genetically correct version. So you can see here in the title it also has GC. That's what that means if you were just randomly wondering why it had GC in the title. I did not make this Strangetown. I did not make these like genetically correct Sims. I downloaded this off Mod the Sims. So if you are interested in playing with genetically correct Sims or even learning more about it, you can go click the link. I'll leave a link down below to both this like neighborhood template, but then also this these genetically correct Sims. So just quick synopsis if you don't know what that means. It basically just means that instead of the Sims being created in cast, they're created using the DNA of their ancestors. So they'll look more and more unique instead of just like having like a face one or a face two or whatever. So yeah, that's really exciting. So like I said, this family, the world, as you can see, has a lot of Sims and like lots of households. So I didn't want to do this in one part. I definitely want to take the time and like kind of split it off. So as based on the title, this one's going to be on the Curious family. And I guess another quick disclaimer is that there are a lot of people in this neighborhood that could technically be considered curious, curious family members, but I kind of want to focus on what I kind of consider personally the mainline curious is, and going on so forth to future parts of this like mini series, whatever I consider to be the mainline Sims of that family, because as we know, this world is very quick to kind of get entangled, and like people will have a lot of common ancestors, like last names and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm just kind of considering this the mainline. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the first family, and that's gonna be the Curious family. I think if you play rotationally, the Curiouses are the first one. If you play like I guess Max, I could be wrong about that, but we're starting off with the Curiouses, and we're starting off with the Curiouses who live over here. So the Curiouses actually start up over here, and I renovated their house a lot. You can kind of see, and I kind of was going through like some glitches and like a lot of pink soup, which I never get. Like that was like literally the worst time. Like I had so much pink soup, and I was just like really nervous. I thought my game was like failing me or whatever. I don't really know what the reason was. I think when I went through my graphic rules, that was like the reason, but neither here nor there. I ended up moving them out of here. The house still exists, and then I built them this house. They lived in another CC house I downloaded, not CC, but like a house I downloaded off the internet, and then I ended up moving them into this house because I wanted them something. So the Sim who lives here is Casey Curious, and Casey Curious is unborn baby Curious. So this is Pascal's daughter, and as you can see, she lives with her partner and their child Serpent. So you can see here Casey and Guy. This is Guy Wright. I think his name is Guy Wright or Guy Wrightley, something like that. He's from university, and Casey and Guy will soon be empty nesters when Serpents goes off to college. What would they do in their spare time? So they're at that age, So let's go and see what's actually going on with them, and we'll talk a little bit more about all these Sims. Okay, so here we are in the Curious household. I would consider this like the main Curious household. Not main, but like this is like technically the original run when you think about like, okay, who lived here previously, all of that. But yeah, this is their new lot. And sorry for the lighting. I built this. Actually, maybe I can go into like lighting. This kind of oops. Make this a little brighter, but this is the lot. I built this off of like a Pinterest floor plan. It's not fully done. They don't have that much money, but they spent a lot of money building this house. So yeah, as they get more money, and I feel like in my mind, I kind of built this with the idea that lots of Curiouses will grow up here and like live their life here. and stuff like that. So I feel like, with the idea of expansion, it's pretty sufficient. So this is just like a quick overview. You'll quickly learn that they have twins, Casey and Guy. They have twin kids who don't live here right now, but this is when I built this, it was right before they went off to college. So this would be one room, this would be another, and it has like a little Jack and Jill bathroom in there, and then we have like a big walkway, and then like another, like potentially like a fake living room, but also in my mind like a hobby area, which we already have some things over here. And then this is Serpents, which is, this is Serpents right here, their son. This is his room. He just aged up, so his room is definitely a little bit more kiddish right now. But yeah. Then downstairs we have the foyer area with nothing here for real. I was thinking about maybe putting like a chair with some bookshelves or something. And then the big ass kitchen too. They recently had a party, so that's why they have that stuff. A bathroom back here, a little like mud room, a garage, pool. Like I said, I want to put like some more back here and stuff like that. And then they have a pretty big master or owner's bedroom, and then a bathroom, and then there's a little office down here. And then the living room. I completely forgot about the living room. So the living room's like the most decorated area, but it's really cute. And then there's a picture of all the kids here. So yeah. Okay, so let's look at all the Sims. So here we have unborn baby. I was about to say unborn baby broke. This is unborn baby curious. Her name is Casey. I just named her that because this is a weird position. But yeah, I just named her that because I thought it was cute. And she's a pretty, knowledgeable sim. She's about to age up. Based on my aging system, she's about like 50 or so. She went to college. She graduated with honors, which is not something many sims do in my game because I don't know. I play kind of wants based, so if they want it, they'll have it. But most don't really want to have honors. So she achieved that. She's really smart, skilled in basically everything except charisma, and she's a level 8 unnatural crossbreeder in the natural scientist career. What else? She is a Scorpio. This is her like breakdown. She's basically really neat, pretty outgoing, which is shocking. She should probably have some charisma, but she's fairly outgoing. She's really active. She's serious, and then she's like in the middle of grouchy and nice. She's like middle of the road. Her hobby is science, which I don't really pay that much attention to hobby, but yeah. And then let me go back to this. And then this is her relationship. So she's really close with a lot of her family. Like a lot of the Curiouses until recently, like all lived together. Like I said, recently, well, I haven't said this, but recently VidKid died and Pascal, I would say in the past 2 rounds, they both died. So, before that, they all lived together. This is some of her family members. These are her kids. And yeah, a little bit, I guess, some of her memories. So let's see. Kind of important ones. So obviously she's born. She didn't learn all of her skills before she aged up. Dang. I mean, I guess there was a lot going on. Thinking back to that time, there was a lot of kids in the house. And let's see who she had her first kiss with. She had her first kiss with Buck Young, who is Buck Grunt. We'll learn more about him later on. She lost her woohoo, or she had her first woohoo with River, who's like a townie. Don't know what happened to him. I guess he's still a townie somewhere in the neighborhood. And wait, what? She reached the top of her career? That's actually so insane. Wait, what? Before she went to college? That has to be wrong. I don't know how that happened, but because she didn't even meet her husband yet. Yeah, and she didn't even start her job. So, I think she had like a high school job. Now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, she was an overachiever. So she had a high school job. Then she went off to college. She met Guy in college. Met Guy, which is this guy. Wait, that's mad funny. And then, they did their thing. They fell in love. They started dating. They moved out. And then she moved back in here. And then they got engaged. And then they welcomed their twins, Nova and Apollo. And then Guy moved in. I think because he was technically... he's not like a townie. He was a playable, I think, in university. So it was kind of weird because then I had to go back and play him to let him graduate. So, because I didn't want him to drop out. So I had to do all that. So it was a little bit extra of a step for me. So then they got married, had, all that. And then for a while, one of her cousins died. We'll learn more about her later on in a bit, probably. And then Apollo, who got married? Oh, and then she finally got married to Guy after that. And then they had another kid a little bit later, Serpents. He's about like 10 years younger. Not 10, like 7 years younger than his twin siblings. And then they went on vacation too. They went to... Is there no vacation like icon? Weird. But yeah, they did go on vacation. The Curiouses are the only Sims that have gone on vacation. Oh, here it is. They went to the Far East. And that's pretty much it. And like I said, recently we had some deaths in the family. So Pascal died like maybe, now that I think about it, like 2 rounds ago. So we're on. Oh, yeah, so I've already played them for round 13. So they've gone through technically about 52 years in game. Whereas like some of the households are still on 48 that I'll show you about. Maybe note that out if it's important. But yeah, so VidKid died. One of her like cousins, yeah, Oscar's one of her cousins died. And yeah, that's basically it. So then there's Guy. He's Italian. There's not much going on with him. I don't really care that much about him, but he's really close with a lot of the Curious kids and like other family members. Like he's best friends with Nala, which is one of, I guess, Casey's nieces. So like his kid's cousin. He's close with Golden, which is one of Casey's cousins, I think. So he's just really close with the family. He doesn't really have anybody else outside of that. He doesn't really interact because I don't know. He's kind of just like a side character to me, low key. But he's cool. And then he works, just to note, he works in the business career. He's level 8. And then they have their son, Serpens. He's their youngest, like I said, their youngest son. They have 2 sons and a daughter. This is him. He looks a lot like his father. He's cute, though. He's cute. He just aged up to be, I feel like this hair looks good on him. I feel like I should probably change his eyebrows. For some reason, I think his hair is brown, but his eyebrows are black. I don't know how that happened, but I also just feel like these eyebrows don't suit him. So I'll probably change that later on. But yeah, this is him. He's pretty cute. I feel like he looks a lot like his father. And this is him. So he's a high school student. I'll probably try to get him into private school. And he's a romance sim, which is pretty interesting. Oh, I forgot to mention, like these, she's knowledge him. He's a popularity sim, and then he is a romance sim. And so he's kind of been romancing, even though he just aged up, also because of just how like rotations work. So he's been like meeting people like on the other side, if that makes any sense. So he's had involvement with some of the other teens in the neighborhood that you don't know yet, but Zoya Riley, and then also Janie Riley, who are technically, now that I think about it, half sisters because they share a father. That's why they have the same last name. So I guess he has a thing for the Riley girls. And that's basically it. I feel like he's had a pretty good childhood. You know, he just aged up to be a teen. So in my mind, he kind of just became a person in my game, for real, for real. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. I feel like they're not really a drama household for me. Like the Curiouses, I mean, some of the Curiouses have drama, don't get me wrong, but like especially this household, I feel like they're very pure, which is kind of nice, especially since like they're the first house I play in a new round. So it's like, I come into really like nice, wholesome gameplay. So I guess I'll give you a quick sneak peek on the tree. So like I said, her father is Pascal. So Pascal died. He died of old age, so that's good. Um, he ended up having 2 kids. So he had another daughter through aliens named Kirby. We'll meet her in this video as well. He never got remarried in my game, or not remarried. He never got married. He only ever like just took care of his daughter, did his life's work, and that was it. Him and VidKid lived together for their entire life. And Pascal had moved out once or not Pascal, sorry, Laszlo moved out. He got married, so he moved out like in my game like about like 40 years ago, like very early on in the game. And yeah, so that's that. So you can see, like I said, Casey has 3 kids. So this is Apollo, Nova, and Serpens. Their names are all kind of like apparently like Apollo and Nova I think are very like kind of notable like space names, but then like Serpens isn't, but it is apparently like space related. And then like I said, he has another daughter named Kirby, and then she has a daughter named Nala. So like I said, we'll meet them in a bit. So just to go over to VidKid, he did get married and he had 2 daughters. So the first daughter was actually from like before he got married. He got pregnant through space. So that's how Casey is technically also half sisters with her cousin, because this was before I got the pollination technician mod. So they shared a parent. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, so they're like half sisters and cousins. They're like double related. And then VidKid also ended up getting married to Olive Specter. And I thought that was really cute. She's the only sim in this game where I've used Elixir of Life to extend her lifespan. And they ended up getting married. And after they got married, I was like, okay, VidKid wanted to get abducted by aliens or something like that. So I was like, okay, if he gets pregnant, then we'll just like use that kid as their kid. So I don't know who technically her like pollination technician is, but yeah. So that's that. We'll also meet her in this video. So those are the Curiouses, and yeah. So I don't really know like what's next for this household. I think we'll see. I forget what Nova and Apollo like their. I guess I can look at my spreadsheet real quick. Wait, let me see. So Apollo and Nova are wait. Okay, Apollo, they're both, like I said, they're in their 20s and they're actually both gay. Nova is a pleasure sim and a secondary aspiration of knowledge, and then Apollo is gay, has a family aspiration, and then a secondary of knowledge. So, yeah. And then also Nova is a Gemini and Apollo is a Sag, which is kind of always funny when they're twins because it was like they were technically born on the same day, so they should have, but it's different in The Sims, of course. But that's basically this household. I love them. I think they're really fun to play with. Very simple. And I think maybe potentially, obviously, the twins. I don't know which twins are going to be moving back or, like, if both of them are going to come back after college, if one's going to come back. Or in my mind, I was low key thinking maybe just having them live away for a while. And then, like, as they get older and as their parents age, they'll maybe move back. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to move on to the next household. So, yeah. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at Pascal's second daughter, Kirby. She lives all the way over here in this household with her daughter. We're gonna check them out. And okay, so here we are with Kirby Curious, Pascal's second daughter, and her daughter Nala. So this is their house. I did not build this house. I got this actually off of Discord. And then yeah, so this is like the inside of their house. It's literally, I think some of this furnishing maybe came with the house, and then they also whatever they came with from their old apartment. So for the longest time they lived in these apartments over here. You can see them. They're called the Strange Apartments. They're originally by Pleasant Sims, and so they lived there literally all of Nala's life, and Nala just turned like 14. So they lived there for a really long time, but I think now that she's a teenager and obviously she's really looking for her own space, Kirby decided to take a lot of the money that she got from like her father's death and all that stuff, and the money that she's just been saving to, move into a space of her own that she actually owns and can live in for the rest of her life, and also just to kind of give her daughter some more space as she grows up. So this is her. Well, this is Kirby, right? I feel like she looks a lot like my Pascal. Why is my mouse moving like that? But yeah, she looks a lot like the Pascal I have in my game. It might look a little bit different because once again, it is a genetically correct neighborhood. But I feel like she has his exact face. She just has a different skin tone. And I guess quick synopsis of her. So she is an education career. She's a principal. She loves doing that. I think obviously she's a knowledge sim, so I feel like it's she's a curious. It's very fitting that she wants to impart education to the next generation. So she's really neat, outgoing, active, but then she's very serious and also grouchy. And I guess her hobby, she's really interested in fitness. It's kind of funny. I feel like a lot of times my Sims are never actually doing their one true hobby. So she's actually a lot more interested in art, but she has no experience in fitness, which is kind of funny to me. And then here's her daughter. So this is her daughter. Her name is Nala, like I said. I actually had one of my friends name her, and she is a public school student. I feel like I should probably put her in private school. We'll see. I feel like they're not rich enough to put them in private school, but I'll think about it. And she's a Cancer. She's neat. She's outgoing. She's active. She's serious and grouchy. So she's in between serious and playful. She's a lot like her mother. Probably has a little bit of her father mixed in. So who is her father? Her father is this guy named Roderick Grunt. The problem with him being her father is that they are technically related. So Kirby and Roderick are first cousins. I did not do this on purpose. ACR, I make basically all my Sims choose who they want to be with. I don't ever force them to be with someone, even if in my mind I'm I feel like I never even make headcanons. I kind of just see what naturally develops and kind of just go from there. But yeah, they ended up going together. And I didn't choose this, like I said, but I guess because my game doesn't view them as related, and I think that's because, so let's look at the family tree real quick. So as we can see, the reason why they're first cousins is because Pascal and Chloe are half sisters. So, or not half sisters, half siblings. So in the game though, they don't mark them, and when you're playing a regular sim Strangetown, they're not marked as siblings. So they don't have family relations. So even technically between Pascal and Chloe, and then Pascal between Lola or any of the Curious brothers or anything like that, they can get with their sisters, which is really nasty. But that's, I don't know if that's because like the storyline is that technically they don't know that they're related to the Curious sisters, but you know, as players who do know that and we're kind of playing as like all knowing gods, kind of like that's kind of annoying. So I don't know, when I was playing I didn't really realize that they were related, and like by the time, you know, Nala was already conceived and like was born, I was just like, oh, this is kind of disgusting. But I didn't want to delete her or anything like that. And like, I don't know, it's The Sims, it's not like there's any like actual health defects. I'm not promoting this, but I'm just saying like I, you know, it's nasty and I acknowledge that, but she's already here. And I, you know, he's moved on. I feel like, I don't know, every time they talk, I feel like they do have like a weird connection. So like every time they talk, they kind of just like reignite their like connection, even though like I've made them break it off like a billion times. So yeah, I probably should go into, I feel like I've gone into like SimPE too. But either way, that's why I moved. That's another reason why I moved them out, because he also lived in the apartment complex. So it made them like kind of made it easy for them to get together, which is, like I said, disgusting. So she doesn't have any other romantic interests. I think that's something I'm definitely gonna look for her in the next thing, you know, in the next round. I haven't played them yet, so they're still technically like round 12, about to start round 13, and yeah, so she's like kind of interested in a couple guys. Like some of these guys are married though. Like she was kind of interested in the landlord, so who knows? And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anything of importance? Maybe some of her memories. I think she's only ever been with Roderick, unfortunately. Let's see. Yeah, they. Oh no, she was with Ashawn, Ashawn Loner, who I guess also, now that I think about it, is also related to her. Oh my god, this is actually so disgusting. Because Ashawn, his mother is Lola, or no, yeah, Lola Loner. So, oh my god, this is actually so disgusting. So, yeah. So she's kind of been. It's not her fault though. Like I said, I didn't know, and in my mind, it was not on purpose. But they're broken up, and that's good. That's for the better. And yeah. So as for their daughter, so her daughter Nala, like I said, this is her. She's really pretty, and she is, you know, she has a couple good friends. Like most of her friends are people who lived in the apartment complex with her, and she's also has a pretty good relationship with her father and also with her aunt's husband Guy. Because like I said, at a point they all did live together, but then once Nala was born, I think I moved them out because I wanted someone else to move back in. I think I wanted Casey to move in, and I wanted Casey and Guy to have more kids or something to that effect. So they got the boot, and I think also she just wanted to, like, in my mind, she also wanted just to live by herself as someone who's coming into her adulthood. But yeah, so Timothy is actually one of the kids in the neighborhood who lived in the apartment complex, and so is Carter. Carter's one of his sisters. They're just like half, so they have different last names and stuff like that. And yeah, so as they like, as soon as they aged up, they like immediately, like they were always best friends, and then they both aged up like the same time in the round, and their attraction just like immediately struck, and they fell in love. You know, they've been best friends forever, and they've been best friends, stuff like that. So like I said, she literally just aged up, so she doesn't have that much of a history. But you know, I think she learned all of her skills. Did she? Let's see. She didn't learn to walk. She did go on vacation though. Then Pascal died. Some rando died. She got money from Pascal. She fell in love with Timothy. Like she literally aged up, and then she fell in love with him. And then they went on their first date. They had their first kiss. They made out, and then some other stuff happened. But yeah, so that's her. I feel like her and Timothy are gonna be really cute. So I'm looking forward to that, to see how that plays out. If they're gonna be endgame, and you know, if it does work out, you know, potential kids. I think that's one of my favorite parts about Sims, is like seeing family lines play out. But yeah, this is the family tree. Like I said, ignore the unfortunate relations, but you can see Roderick is the child of Rip and Chloe. So we'll learn more about him when I get to the Grunt family. But yeah, so we're gonna go over to the last Curious household. Okay, so now we're gonna move over to the last quote unquote main Curious family sim, and this is a sim named Goldie Specter. She lives over here in the strange apartment, and she lives by herself. So we're gonna see what she has going on and who she is to the family. Okay, so here we are with the last mainline Curious, excuse me, mainline Curious household, and this is with Goldie Specter. You're probably like, who is this girl? Her last name isn't even Curious. She may have like, you know, little alien skin into her, but this is her. Let me let the game play out for a little second. Here she is. on the toilet, I guess. Is that a little embarrassing for her? I don't know. But here she is after work in her uniform, reading the newspaper on the toilet. But yeah, this is her, one of the curious girlies. And I guess we can show her apartment a little bit. So she's the only sim where I've kind of like really decorated one of these apartments. I feel like she's gonna be living here for a while. She relatively just graduated from college and started her career. But I just feel like she's gonna be like a cool little like knowledge sim, focusing on like her skills before she settles down and like maybe has a kid or two. Because I do want her to have a kid, so she's gonna have a kid even if she doesn't want to have a kid. Because I want her genes to pass on and everything like that. So who is she? So in the family tree, her father is Vidkid. Vidkid recently died, relatively recently, and like I said, she is Olive and Vidkid's daughter. Just also note, like I said, Vidkid also had another daughter. She passed away because of the Strangetown flu. I don't think I mentioned that when I brought her up earlier, but that's what happened to her. So she died as, I think, a college student. So she died as a young adult. Her personality. So, or her job. She's a field reacher. She's level 3. She's pretty accomplished. She's probably going to start working on her cleaning skill. And this is her personality. So she's a Sag. She's neat. She's shy. She's outgoing. Or no. She's neat. She's shy. She's active. She's serious. And then she's fairly grouchy. She's science enthusiasm, but she does a lot of gaming. And these are her memories. So she doesn't really have that much interesting thing going on. Let me see. So did she get horror skills? No. I think her first memory is Nervous died, then her mom died. She got some money from that, and that's why she has a lot of money. Her parents, she did have older parents, so she got money from that. This is when her sister died. She went on vacation with the family. Let's see. Oscar died, who I guess is like one of her cousins, and then Vidkid, relatively, it's in the recent, so he died recently. She does have a lot of money for a sim who just graduated from college. I think that's also just because, like I said, family members died, and I think also I usually make kids put money in their bank account, so she has a lot of money, between her parent. I think she hasn't even technically got Vidkid's payout yet, because, yeah, so she probably get that this round, and then, I think a lot of that's from when her mom died, and I put them into the bank account, so it's just been investing and compounding. So her story, I just feel like in my mind, she's just like the young, cool, like, focusing on myself career woman. I feel like I really haven't played that storyline out, so I think that's gonna be her for a while, like just living it single. I think, wait, let me check my spreadsheet, but I think she's gay. Is she? Here she is. She is gay, and she's also a secondary family sim, so when that comes for her, that's what she'll be. Oh no. How why does that say knowledge? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. So when it comes and I choose it, she'll be a family sim. And then so yeah, that's what she has going on. So her relationships, I feel like she's getting to know some of the people in the building. So that's like Ross, he lives across the hall, Vicky, her daughter Carter. This is her niece's boyfriend, Timothy. She's still close with Guy. She's close with her, I guess Casey's her cousin, and then like her nieces and nephews. Wait, is Casey her cousin? No. Is Casey her cousin? Let me see real quick. Yeah, Casey's her cousin, but she's not. Oh yeah, she is marked as family, so that's why her kids aren't marked as related to her. And then so yeah, she's cool with a couple of sims in town, mostly family, but she's also cool with this girl named Amy Gibson. And yeah, as for like romantic relationships, there aren't that many LGBTQ sims in my neighborhood. So I did recently, not like recently, but like recently put down some sims. So I think she's a townie that came with the game. I could be wrong about it. And then like I think she's a townie. Cameron McGaw. And then Madeline and Ramona are like sims that came with the townie dump I got. And then Brenda is a sim I made, and she has a lot of chemistry with her. So maybe hopefully she gets with her, just because she also has 3 bolts with her, and I made her, and I love like the sims I make with the genetics. I just love bringing in new genetics, and she also has skin for it, and I feel like there aren't that many skin for sims in my game. So yeah, who knows? I don't know if that's going to be something that we're going to work on maybe the next time I play. And she hasn't been played yet, so she's still technically round 12. She hasn't been played fully yet, so I don't know. I'm just excited for her. I love her little apartment. I feel like I said, I never really decorate the apartments because they're usually pit stops. Like people end up getting pregnant sometimes living here, or some people do live here for a longer period of time. But usually this is kind of like, I wouldn't say this is the flop house because it isn't, but it's kind of like the next step after the flop house unless you move back home. So yeah, really cute. You know, I feel like it's really her. And I think also she kind of is in a different position where it's like, even though her parents are dead, she has money from her parents, and like she was privileged enough to have that throughout her life. So yeah, and I guess she hasn't had any romance going on, or no, she kissed Madeline, but I think that was it. So yeah. Okay, so this was it for my first part of this little mini series of like Strangetown 50 years later. We covered the Curious family. The next part, we're going to be covering the Grunt family, which has a couple more households, so it will be a little bit, I don't know if it's going to be necessarily longer, but it will have, you know, more in it. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.